Welcome to Butterflies of Wisdom, everyone. I'm sorry you get me 1,000 times over on your Friday drive to work. I'm sorry, but that's the life of a full-time podcaster. But enough with me rambling. I have Elliott Katz with me, so without further ado, I'm going, Elliott, take it away.
Okay, it's great to be here on the show. The reason I have to be on the show is I've written a book called Being the Strong Man a Woman Wants, Timeless Wisdom on Being a Man. It's a book I wrote. I was married and then I got divorced. And, often at the end of a relationship you blame the other person. And then after a period of that, I asked myself, what do I have to learn about this? I don't want to go through this again. So I set out on a journey to learn what does it mean to be a man in a relationship. And I learned a lot of things. When I first started listening to other men, the more I listened, the more I realized all men are confused, or a lot of men are confused. Then I started reading books, and books on relationships, and they really didn't say anything to me. And then I turned to the wisdom that older men used to teach younger men about being a man, and I was blown away because it coincided with what I heard women say is lacking in men today. They don't show leadership. They don't make decisions. They don't take responsibility. There seems to be this giant disconnect between all the things men have heard today and what women really want. And it's fascinating. I read in the newspaper they talk about masculine confusion and the masculinity crisis. And I was just reading even that in China they issued a textbook in Shanghai for young boys in high school age to teach them about masculinity. So that it seems a young man needs to be taught about being a man. It doesn't come naturally to them. And in this generation of men, we really were deprived of that teaching. So this is what I've tried to do with the book. Teach men about being a man so they'll have better relationships, they'll have better marriages, they'll be able to save their marriage, they'll be able to have a happy marriage and a happy wife, because a happy wife is a happy life.
Yes, that's the old adage there. A happy wife is a happy life. And so, through this journey, Elliott, what has been your best moment?
The best moment really is it's very rewarding to see the difference the book has made. It's, first when I wrote the book, I was kind of writing it for myself and my friends, and then I thought, well, this is kind of a North American thing. But it's really worldwide. The book has been translated into 24 languages by publishers in Europe, Asia, Latin America, and Africa. And what's really been rewarding is to get feedback from people who say, oh, this book really helped me. This book saved my marriage. This book, saved our relationship. It's very rewarding to see that. And at the same time, I've gotten feedback from men and women. I said, boy, from women saying, if my husband had read this book, or men have said, if I had read this book, I wouldn't be divorced today. It's a teaching that men need to learn that they're not being taught today, that they need to know before they can go into a relationship with a woman and make a marriage work.
Yes, and I agree. I am single, but I am out there looking. But I definitely agree, because men need to realize, especially disabled men, need to realize that they can't always rely on the women for every little thing. And so throughout your journey, have you come to the conclusion of that, or am I just saying that off the cuff and people are going to think I'm nuts? Are men relying on women more, or is it equal opportunities here?
That's exactly what I hear. Your experience is what I hear from so many women, that men today don't act like men. They think they want the women to make all the decisions. They want they want women to decide everything, to take the lead on everything. Even, I often joke when a man asks a woman out for a date, even to go for a cup of coffee, he says, well, where do you want to go? He wants her to make all the plans, make all the decisions. And they say, well, it doesn't really matter to me where we go. I say, yeah, but you know what? woman's judging you, if you can't even choose a place to go for a cup of coffee, she's going to wonder how will you handle like real life challenges where you really have to stand up and make a decision, right? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So
I'm wondering how that disabled man in my life is going to figure out the decision if they can't figure out a small thing like where the coffee grinder is or where to go for a coffee date. I mean, we're dealing with big life decisions here, Elliott, and we can't be the financial clutch to men, and we can't be the physical clutch to men, and I would rather be solo and independent.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, I hear this from a lot of women. They're just, you know, men don't seem, you know, I had a woman, very successful. She's like a chief financial officer in a big company, and you know, she's not married, and she says, I think men today, they don't understand. I want a man who's a rock that I can lean on. You know, they don't want a man who's, you know, just going to be someone, tell me what to do, whatever you want, I'll do whatever you want. They want a man who's strong, who takes charge, who's a leader, who's a rock that they can lean on. And you know, a lot of women say they're looking for that kind of man. But the thing is today, all the things men are told is like, oh, don't be like that. That's being controlling. Well, no, it's not being controlling. Controlling is just doing things, you know, the way you want. But you don't, you know, being a leader means you're thinking about, like even being a leader and asking a woman out on a date, you have to think of both of you. You have to think, what would we both enjoy doing together? It's not like, oh, I want this, so we're doing it my way. That's controlling. That's not being a leader. They're so afraid of being accused of being controlling, and a lot of times they say, well, you know, this decision doesn't really matter to me, but it matters to her. She wants you to act like a man. So make that decision. Women like it. It'll save your marriage. It will save your relationship. So many men, they think they'll just do whatever the woman wants, and then they can't understand why she's frustrated with him. Because, you know, if you're waiting for the woman to tell you what to do, she's going to look at you like you're a child. You know, she's not going to look at you as a husband. She's going to think you're one of the children, and she's a single parent. I've heard that lots of times.
I've also heard I'm raising 5 kids, including my husband, and it's like, where is the respect? And where is the respect for women? And where is men, as I said previously on this podcast, you guys, I had an episode of me turning 30 years old, and someone asked me, what does love look like to you? And I said, as long as I'm not someone's nurse, and I want someone that supports me and supports my dreams and doesn't twist my dreams, I'm perfectly fine. But I'm finding out that men of all abilities, disabled and non-disabled, are turning out that we are leading them around like puppies because we make the decisions for them. Do you agree with that statement, Elliott?
Yeah. No, men aren't making decisions. That's exactly what I was saying. The men feel they're being led around like puppies, but they have allowed it to happen. That's what I try to explain to men. You know, they think they were being such great husbands, and yeah, I mean, they worked hard, they tried their best, but they didn't realize they weren't being a leader. Like they'll say, "Oh, I worked so hard, I'm exhausted." At the end of the day, I said, "Well, you have to save some of that energy, just like you work hard because you want a good life for your family. You have to save some energy to, you know, show your share of leadership at home, for the same reason, because you want to have a nice life for your family." And they really, you know, children want to look up to their father. A wife wants to look up to her husband. So you've got to be worthy of that. You've got to be strong, a leader who's, you know, has self-control. A leader isn't someone who blows up and yells at everyone. You know, that's just, when I see somebody doing that, it means they're out of control. They're in over their head. No, you got to do it calmly but firmly. Say, know what's going on. Look for, see situations that need your leadership. Step forward and deal with them. Don't just say, ask your wife what to do. She's going to be so frustrated with you. Women don't like telling men what to do. I tell men that. They can't believe it.
Women don't like telling anyone what to do. No one likes to be told what to do, thank you very much, including a guy. So for the needy guys out there, excuse me, I need a strong leader who's going to support me and support my dreams, and that's why I got Elliott on the show, and Elliott approached me because he wrote the book about this life. He wrote the man code about this, how guys should act towards any woman. And disabled women are just a little bit different, but our bodies are disabled. We still have the same internal organs you guys do, and it's the able body does. And we don't want to lead men around like puppies. I'm sorry, but we can't. We can't.
Gwen, you're absolutely right. You hit the nail on it. You've described it perfectly. Leading them around like puppies. Let me write that down. I'm going to use that.
We lead them around like puppies, and we're done. We're done leading men around like puppies. I mean, we're done. We need strong men. Luckily, I have strong guys in my life who don't have to be led around like puppies. Thank you very much. But the more disabled, Elliott, let me just say this fact, and I don't care if I get hate mail for this. The more disabled you are as a man, and I'm talking physically and mentally disabled, the more leading of puppy style I have to do to you. Because I have to give you direction, which adds more stress to my plane. I'm sorry, but I don't want to lead a guy around like puppies. I want the guy to contribute to whatever project I'm working on, especially if it's a creative project like this podcast. I don't want guys to walk in and shine and have me do all the work because they expect to be led around like puppies.
I'm with you. I agree with you. I agree. I've heard it from many women.
But that's just good. So I'm not the only one that feels like that. That's just my personal opinion as a 30-year-old woman. And I want a guy who can give me money when I need it and me not drive him nuts about it. And then I can be financially independent. And he won't be led around like a puppy. When I'm dealing with him, he will say, I'm proud to be your wife, even you have a physical disability. I'm not here to be someone's nurse and leading you on like puppies. I'm sorry, but if you think you can push me over like this, no tomorrow, and stomp and tromp and make yourself all tennis macho and shine and walk in on my project and then shine your bright light and then leave me to do all the work and not promote the projects, I'm sorry. We're not going to be a good fit.
Absolutely. That's why they need to read the book and get or to learn these ideas somehow, because really, so many men have told me, after they read the book, no one's ever told them this before. All the messages men hear today is like, just do what your wife wants. Just say yes, dear, yes, dear. I've been like at least 2 weddings where the father of the groom really stood up and said, my advice to you, my son, now that you're married, yes, dear, yes, dear. The way to, no, don't say yes, dear, all the time. She's going to be fed up with you. She wants a man. She wants a man. Maybe that's how you manage your marriage, but really, She doesn't want a man who says yes to her. She wants a man who's a leader, who knows what's going on in the home, sees what situations need to be dealt with, and deals with them.
Yeah, and that's what I want in guy myself personally. I don't want a yes, dear. What do you want? How can I be a nurse? How can I excuse my language when I'm going to use it? How can I kiss your ass? And because I don't need that. I'm a strong, independent woman. I mean, people that know me know I have the gifted gab, Elliott, and know that I can carry on the conversation with the best of them. And know I'm going into the creative field. I need someone in my life personally that supports me and doesn't talk and stuff all over me and then leaves me to pick up dust and upload the podcast or upload any creative project that I'm doing. I need help. I need able-bodied help. And I, quite frankly, would like to pursue an able-bodied man and skip the disabled because my internal organs are the same as able-bodied people's. Right. But also the disabled chase me all the time because I am at the top of the heap. And so I've been chased for 7 years, and people thought, and we still are in a romantic relationship, but we're more friends than boyfriend and girlfriend because I'm leading him around like a puppy, and it's like no, and I need someone that supports me, and this is what this book is all about.
Exactly. You want a man who's a leader, who's going to be, it's the old-fashioned man who's strong, who steps forward when there's a problem, who people can turn to, who knows he has integrity. He has courage to step forward in difficult situations. He doesn't back away. Doesn't wait for women to tell him what to do, thinking that he's being such a nice guy. That's the problem today. This is all the things men have heard. They're so afraid of being accused of being controlling. They want to be nice guys. They want women to like them. So I said, well, if I just do whatever she says, then she'll like me, But it doesn't work like that.
And men have brilliant ideas too. Why don't you bring those brilliant ideas to the table and help women out here in any field, especially the creative field? Hello? Two-way street.
When we're on the same page.
Yeah. Hello, two-way street. No, I'm not letting men take over this podcast. They have done that. And no, the political scene got a little too strong for me. That's why I kicked my original men. That's why I originally kicked my friend off the podcast because he just talks all over me with political advocacy on the disabled, and it's like, excuse me, two-way street here. And he said, oh, you're interrupting guests and all that stuff, and I'm like, then you try with me, and of course, it's a smaller mess now, but it turned into a mess where he would come in, do the podcast, and then leave me to do all the grunt work and never, ever, ever, ever share the work that he's supposed to be proud of and supposed to be doing. Now, and I asked him to share the work, and I said to him, do a Facebook Live, and he did that a couple times, but he wasn't able to give me ideas as to share the podcast, as he wasn't able to give me ideas to share the podcast, and he gave me ideas for topics, and topics are wonderful, but it's about the human know, like, and trust factor. It's about we can't stick to topics all the time.
Well, you know what? I think part of it is, I do coaching for people, and I coach women. I said, how do you get a man to show leadership? I said, just give him an opportunity. Men are afraid of being criticized. That's one of the things they avoid showing leadership, because they think if they do it wrong, the women will criticize them, and they don't like that. So I tell women, give them a job to do. Just say, if he asks you how to do it, just say, do research. I don't know. That's what I do. Do research. Check on the internet if you need information. And just encourage him to take the lead on doing projects, to do things in the home and the family. And when he asks you where to go for coffee, just say you decide and don't say anything else. Let him decide.
Yeah. Teach them, throw the ball back in other people's courts. So, Elliott, I want to know where people can get this book. I know it's traditionally published, and I presume it's on Amazon, and I presume it's on Audible. And so where can people get this book?
Okay, it's on Amazon.com as a paperback, and on Kindle as an ebook, and it's also on Kobo and iBooks as an ebook, and it's also in bookstores. And if they don't have it, just ask them to order it, and they'll get it to you pretty quickly. It's Being the Strong Man and Woman Wants, Timeless Wisdom on Being a Man. And my name's Elliott Katz, and I also have a website. If people want to contact me, I'd be happy to hear from them. It's www.elliottKatz.com. Let me just spell my name. It's ELLIOTTKATZ.com. I also have a Facebook page called Being the Strong Man and Woman Wants, same title as the book, and you can like it, and you'll get any new articles I write or I post on there and other stuff. So want to learn more, and the goal is to change the world and to stop. Most divorces are initiated by the woman. We want to put an end to that because we want women not to be so frustrated with their men that they divorce them. We want them to respect them and love them, and people not get divorced and children not be from broken homes. So it's a big job, and we want to change the world. And we started with this book in 24 languages around the world. If you feel unrespected in your relationship, or your man who feels unrespected, and you feel things could be improved, and you're wondering what you should be doing differently, stop blaming your wife and get the book and read it, and let me know how it goes.
And quit cheating on your wife. You can be in power. You can tell her that you need to be in power. Men need to be more powerful presence than they are. But before I let Elliott go, I'm going to let Elliott ask me a couple questions that he's been interested in asking me about anything.
Okay, so what's the most rewarding thing you've done? I see you've done books, a podcast. What's been rewarding for you?
Oh, I guess my books. I guess, to be quite honest with you, writing books is my guilty pleasure. I don't read the books, I write them. But the most rewarding thing has been writing books and being a published author and making money off of it. But that's been the most rewarding thing.
Okay, great. And what did you do special on your birthday? It was just a few days ago, right?
Oh, geez. You do listen to my podcast. I hung out with the people that love me, which was a really special treat because I don't get to see these people very often. So the fact that they made the effort to come out and see me, I don't live in the easiest place to get to, even though it's the most popular place on the planet, aka Aspen, Colorado, but it's not the easiest place to get to. So I got to hang out with people that love me and support me and basically been in my life for now 30 years. And my goal is to not only find a man and not only find a man that supports me, but just be on the New York Times bestseller list, and that will help with my advocacy work. But I really want someone that supports me in a man sense, because I want them to learn about disabilities as well. And even if they are disabled, I don't mind as long as they're financially independent and as long as they're a leader, like Elliott said. I don't mind teaching them a few tricks about cerebral palsy. I won't drag them around like a puppy, but I will teach them a few tricks about cerebral palsy.
Right. Okay.
So I'm hoping that Mr. Prince Charming will come my way soon.
Okay, and with your books, like, what's the most inspiring response you've had from your books? Like, how did people say it made a difference in their life, or that kind of thing? What was the most inspiring kind of response you got?
Well, as I'm doing this interview right now, I'm looking at my original book cover, and Icon Will Win, which could still be found on Amazon. You guys, Icon, W-I-N, and that's my original book, and that's what took this podcast off. That's what kicked this podcast off, actually. And so the response about cerebral palsy, people have really got their eyes open because of that book. And I think that cerebral palsy needs more awareness, and we need men to get out there and speak on behalf of and get in teams with women and do awareness for any disabilities to show that men can be leaders.
Okay. Well, all the power to you. Keep going. You're doing great things.
All the power to you, and you're doing great things.
Thank you
and
very much.
I'm about to pick up your book myself on Kindle and get it. I would pick that up on Kindle and get it. And so I would love to thank Elliott for coming on and sharing why he wrote the book and why he's doing what he's doing, you guys. And I hope you guys enjoy another powerful episode of Butterflies of Wisdom, and let's just keep making this world a creative and better place, and let's just keep making men better and strong leaders for the disabled and able-bodied alike. Thanks, you guys.
Okay, absolutely. Hello? You there? Hello? Hello? Okay. I guess they're not there. Okay.